Life has a way of turning the tables, doesn't it? For years, you were the cornerstone of your family, the one who bandaged scraped knees, stayed up late, helping with homework, and skipped your own dreams to fund theirs. You poured your heart into raising your children, teaching them right from wrong, and cheering them on through every milestone. But then, somewhere along the line, the dynamic shifted. Maybe it started subtly. A rolled eye when you offered advice, a curt reply to a simple question, or a dismissive wave when you shared a memory. Or maybe it hit harder. They began speaking to you like you're an inconvenience, ignoring your calls, or treating your years of wisdom like outdated trivia. Whatever the signs, the sting is the same. Your children, now adults with lives of their own, don't respect you the way they once did, or the way you deserve. It's a gut punch, isn't it? You might feel a cocktail of emotions. Hurt that cuts deep, frustration that simmers, maybe even a flicker of anger that tempts you to shout, "Don't you remember everything I've done for you?" You've sacrificed sleep, savings, and sanity to give them a good life, and now they act like you're a footnote in theirs. The urge to lash out is strong, to list every late-night drive, every meal cooked, every tear wiped away. But here's the hard-earned truth I've learned, and it's one that can save you years of heartache. Anger doesn't rebuild respect. It's like throwing gasoline on a dying fire. It flares up briefly, then leaves ashes colder than before. Yelling, guilting, or arguing might feel good in the moment, but it digs the rift deeper, turning frustration into resentment on both sides. The good news? There's a better way. A faux path that doesn't involve raised voices or bitter standoffs. Today, I'm unveiling 6 powerful strategies to reclaim the respect you've earned, not by forcing it, but by shifting how you show up in their lives. These aren't quick fixes or magic words. They're deliberate, dignity-driven changes that can reframe how your children see you. From a doormat they step over to a pillar they look up to. Some might feel counterintuitive, others might push you out of your comfort zone, but stick with me to the end. The 6th step, especially, is a game changer. A subtle shift so many seniors miss, yet it holds the key to unlocking genuine admiration. Let's dive in and rediscover your place as a valued, respected figure. No shouting required. Strategy hash 1. Quit seeking their stamp of approval. Let's start with a trap too many parents fall into as they age, chasing their children's approval like it's a golden ticket to love. Maybe you've caught yourself in the act, canceling your plans to babysit their kids at the drop of a hat, biting your tongue when they snap at you, or bending over backward to fit their schedules, all in the hope they'll toss you a crumb of gratitude. You might think if I just do enough, they'll see how much I care, they'll respect me again. But here's the brutal reality. The harder you chase their nod of approval, the less they value you. Respect doesn't bloom from self-sacrifice. It grows from self-worth. When you're always the one giving in, always the one smoothing things over, you're not teaching them to honor you. You're signaling that your needs don't matter. And once that sinks in, they stop seeing you as a person with boundaries and start seeing you as a convenience they can take for granted. Take Evelyn, a 68-year-old grandmother from Boise, Idaho. In her prime, she was a force, a nurse who ran a tight ship at home and work. But as her kids hit their 40s, she softened, desperate to stay close. She'd drive 2 hours to cook them dinner, agree to last-minute favors, and keep quiet when they brushed off her suggestions about their health or finances. She'd say, her voice tinged with resignation. But the boat wasn't steady, it was sinking. Her son started snapping at her over trivial things like how she folded laundry. Her daughter stopped calling unless she needed something. Evelyn thought she was holding the family together, but she was losing herself and their respect in the process. The fix isn't about demanding they bow down, it's about standing up for yourself first. Stop auditioning for their affection. Say a no when it's warranted, like when they ask you to drop everything for them yet can't spare 5 minutes for a chat. Voice your thoughts even if they bristle, like when Evelyn told her son, "I'd appreciate it if you spoke to me kindly or we can talk later." It wasn't easy. Her hands shook the first time, but over weeks her kids noticed they couldn't steamroll her anymore. She wasn't just Mom the pushover, she was Evelyn, a woman with her own life and limits. Slowly their tones softened. They asked her opinion instead of assuming she'd agree. Respect returned not because she begged for it, but because she stopped acting like she needed it to survive. You can do the same, start today, and watch the shift unfold. Strategy #2. Ditch the debates, model the way when disrespect rears its head. Maybe they cut you off mid-sentence, scoff at your advice, or treat your words like background noise. Your gut reaction might be to fight back. You want to argue to lay out your resume of parenthood. I raised you. I paid for your college. I deserve to be heard. It's tempting to think a good verbal sparring match will remind them who's boss. But let me save you the headache. Arguing is a losing battle. When's the last time a shouting match ended with someone saying, "You're right, I respect you now"? Never, that's when. Respect isn't a trophy you win in a debate. It's a quiet force you embody. It's less about what you say and more about how you carry yourself when they test you. Consider James, a 72-year-old widower from Raleigh, North Carolina. A former mechanic, he'd spent his career fixing engines with precision and patience. But at home, his grown kids, 2 daughters, and a son treated him like an old tool past its prime. They'd interrupt his stories about the grandkids' soccer games, roll their eyes at his tips on car maintenance, even chuckle when he tried to enforce house rules during visits. At first, James fought fire with fire, with fire, with fire. "You think you know everything," he'd snap, voice rising. But the arguments just fueled their dismissal. He became the cranky old man they expected. Then, one Thanksgiving, he flipped the script. When his daughter cut him off, he didn't yell. He leaned back, sipped his coffee, and said, "I'll wait." When his son mocked his advice, he nodded calmly and went to fix the garage door himself. Perfectly. No lectures, no pleas, just quiet confidence. Over months, James became a rock they couldn't rattle. He listened when they spoke, offered wisdom without forcing it, and stayed steady even when they pushed. His kids started pausing before dismissing him. They asked about his old cars, lingered over his stories. Why? Because he didn't beg for respect. Theirs did. Oh! If your children steamroll you, don't wrestle them for it. Stand tall, speak with calm authority. Show them what respect looks like by refusing to stoop to their level. They'll feel your strength, and eventually, they'll mirror it. Strategy #3. Cut the emotional umbilical cord. Here's a tough pill to swallow as you age. You can't lean on your children to fill your emotional tank. You adore them. Those bonds run deeper than anything. You want their love, their calls, their visits to light up your days. But when they sense you need them to feel whole, the balance tips. They don't respect you more for it. They feel weighed down. Emotional dependence flips the script. Instead of seeing you as a source of strength, they see you as a burden to manage. And the harder you cling, calling too often, fishing for affection, the more they pull back, leaving you emptier than before. Look at Patricia, a 70-year-old from Sacramento. After her divorce, her 3 kids became her lifeline. She'd text them daily, asking about their jobs, their spouses, their plans, anything to feel connected. If they didn't reply, she'd call, her voice trembling with worry. "I just miss you so much." She'd guilt them into visits, dropping hints about her lonely evenings. But instead of warmth, she got irritation. Her eldest sighed audibly on the phone. Her youngest sent one-word replies. They didn't hate her, they just felt smothered. Then a friend dragged her to a pottery class. She grumbled at first, but soon she was shaping clay, laughing with new pals, and planning a weekend hike. Her texts to her kids slowed. She stopped waiting by the phone. And guess what? Her eldest called to ask about her latest vase. Her youngest showed up with coffee, unprompted. They respected her not because she demanded their time, but because she didn't need it to thrive. The lesson? Love your kids fiercely, but don't lean on them to prop up your happiness. Fill your own cup, join a club, chase a hobby, nurture friendships. When you're a lighthouse, not a lifeboat, they'll sail toward you, not out of duty, but out of awe. Patricia's pottery wasn't just clay, it was dignity. Find your clay and watch respect follow. Strategy #4. Draw lines in the sand and guard them. Respect slips away when you let it. If your kids snap at you, belittle your ideas, or act like your time's worthless, it's not just their fault, it's yours for allowing it. Not because they're cruel, but because humans push boundaries until they hit a wall. Without clear limits, they'll keep crossing lines, assuming you're okay with it. Setting boundaries isn't about starting a war, it's about teaching them how to treat you calmly and firmly. And enforcing those limits, that's where the magic happens. Meet Victor, a 74-year-old from Tampa, Florida. A retired electrician, he'd wired homes with precision, but his family life was a tangle. His kids, 2 sons and a daughter, talked over him at dinners, scoffed at his fishing tales, and criticized his outdated taste in music. Victor shrugged it off for years, muttering, "They're just busy adults." But the disrespect grew. He'd call, and they'd promise to visit, then flake without a word. One Christmas, he'd had enough. When his eldest interrupted him mid-sentence, Victor paused, looked him in the eye, and said, "I'm speaking. You can wait or leave." Stunned silence followed. When his daughter mocked his playlist, he replied, "You don't have to like it, but you will respect my home." And when they bailed on plans again, he didn't call to beg. He went fishing alone. At first, they pushed back, grumbling about his attitude, but Victor held firm. He didn't yell or guilt trip. He just stopped tolerating the intolerable. Soon, his eldest apologized mid-dinner. His daughter asked about his latest catch. They respected him because he respected himself enough to say, "This far, no further." If your kids overstep, define your line. I expect you to speak kindly, or my time matters too. Then enforce it. No exceptions. They'll test you, but stand your ground. Respect isn't given, it's claimed. Strategy #5. Stop pouring into an empty well. Here's a fast track to losing respect. Giving endlessly to people who don't say thanks. As parents, we're wired to help, lending money for their car repairs, watching their kids on a whim, cooking holiday feasts while they scroll their phones. You do it out of love, hoping they'll see your worth, but when your generosity meets silence, or worse, entitlement, you don't build bridges. You build a one-way street where they expect, and you exhaust. They stop valuing your gifts because they think it's their right, not your choice. Take Harold, a 69-year-old from Omaha. He'd spent decades as a doting dad, always there with a check or a favor. His kids leaned on him hard. $500 for rent here, a weekend of free childcare there. Harold never asked for much, just a "thanks, Dad." But it rarely came. They'd take his help, then complain he didn't do more. When his arthritis flared, he asked them to shovel his driveway. They said they were swamped. Harold hit a breaking point. He stopped writing blank checks. He told his daughter, "I can't watch the kids this time. I need rest." He loaned his son $200, but said, "Next time, let's plan together." They bristled, "You're being selfish." But Harold stood firm. Months later, his daughter brought him soup when he was sick. His son paid back the $200 with a handshake. They respected him because his help became a treasure, not a given. If your kids take you for granted, scale back. Give when it's mutual, not mandatory. Say a no when you're stretched thin. They'll squawk at first, but soon they'll see your effort as a privilege, one they need to earn. Respect grows when your well isn't bottomless. Strategy #6. Craft a world beyond their orbit, the ultimate respect booster. Show your kids your life doesn't hinge on them. Parenting often means making them your universe. Every decision, every joy tied to their needs. But as they grow and you age, that center can hollow out. If they think you're just sitting by, waiting for their next call or visit, they might not respect you. They might pity you. People admire those with purpose, with passions, with a spark that doesn't dim. Build that and they'll see you anew. Look at Lillian, a 76-year-old from Portland, Oregon. After her husband died, she leaned hard on her kids, 2 sons and a daughter, for company. She'd hover by the phone, drop by unannounced, and fish for invitations to their events. They pulled away, visits shrinking to duty calls. Lillian felt invisible. Then a neighbor roped her into a gardening club. I forget it. She hesitated. I'm no green thumb, but soon she was knee-deep in soil, trading tips with new friends. She took a painting class, joined a seniors hike group, even started a blog about her roses. Her kids noticed. Her son asked to see her latest canvas. Her daughter tagged along on a hike. They didn't just visit, they engaged, drawn to her vibrancy. Lillian wasn't their anchor anymore. She was a star in her own sky, and they respected her for it. If your kids undervalue you, ask, do they see me living or just lingering? Find your spark. Paint, dance, volunteer, travel. When you shine independently, they'll orbit you, not out of guilt, but admiration. Lillian's roses weren't just flowers, they were respect reborn. What's your rose? Closing thoughts. Respect starts with you. Respect isn't a gift your children owe you, it's a reflection you cast. If they've drifted into disregard, don't waste breath on blame. Shift your stance. Quit chasing approval. Self-respect trumps their nods. Model, don't argue. Your poise outshines their noise. Cut emotional ties. Stand alone and they'll stand with you. Guard your lines. Give wisely. Value yourself and they'll value your gifts. Live fully. A rich life commands their awe. These steps aren't about changing them. They're about changing you. Become the parent they can't ignore, not through force, but through presence. Evelyn, James, Patricia, Victor, Harold, and Lillian did it. You can too. Tonight, pick one shift, say a no, skip a call, join a class, and watch the ripple. We'd love your voice. Comment below. What hit home? What will you try? Your story fuels ours. If this sparked something, like, subscribe, share, let's lift each other up. Thanks for being here. See you next time with more ways to thrive.